welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. Let's get the business out the way. I am on the block with Jen on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If you want to Gmail me, on the block with Jen at Gmail. Okay, that is for business. I am not looking for a husband, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend. You'd be surprised at the Gmails that I get. Okay, hit me on the block with Jen at Gmail for business, a collab, a story you want me to cover. Okay. Now, again and again and again, a collab has to make sense to both you and me. I'm not saying you have to have 1 million followers, but you better be pretty interesting. All right? This is a business. We're making money here. All right, guys. So really quickly, my ladies and gentlemen have wrenches in the chat. Okay. You guys can scream, yell, type in capital letters. You can be passionate. Do not disrespect the women. I know it's all the rave on YouTube. Guys run rampant, disrespecting women. I don't allow it in the chat. I know a lot of you guys are here from other channels, recommended from other channels, and on those other channels, it is a free-for-all. It is not a free-for-all here, but I still welcome you. This is your first time here. Hola, buckle up. It's fun over here. All right, guys. Thank you in advance for the chat, holding down the wrenches for me. Get rid of the ratchets. I also want to remind anyone watching, there are 51 million YouTube channels on YouTube and growing. If you don't like mine, change the channel. Now, if you want to stay and ride, let's ride. Tonight, I'm very, very excited about it, okay? It's something that's actually inspired both by one of my panelists coming up and a conversation that I had with another panelist. So I was listening to the guys and I'm like, wait a minute. Light bulb just went up. Wait a damn minute. Okay. You know, when my light bulbs go on, they're blinding. So I had to bring this subject to On the Block with Jen. It's been talked about a lot on a lot of different panels. Okay. Depending on who you ask, there's a definition for everything, and the definitions change every other damn week. Right. But we're going to call spades tonight. We're going to call the spades a spade tonight. So I'm very excited about the men that are joining me, okay? You guys know I got this thing for men, okay? Men, not males. Men. And unfortunately, on the YouTube streets, the males are abundant. The men, not so much. I take pride in having great panelists, both men and women, even the people that hold me down in the chat. I get very excited coming up here because I know I'm talking to a good group of people, even when we disagree, and we have vehemently disagreed, okay? My earrings have come off plenty, but we always end in love, right? And we always come back. That's how you know you're doing a good thing, right? None of us has doxed each other. All right, guys. Good to see everyone in the chat. What's up, Afi? Sister George. Beautiful lady. Haven't seen you in a while. Rochelle, how are you? What's up, Don Levon? Code Red as always. Tyrone. What's up? What's up? Big Truck? Big Truck, I'd like you to come up, but I'm demanding everybody cam up today. All right. I got some lookers on the panel today. So I'm going to need everybody to cam up. All right. Say it with your face if you mean it tonight. Maybe on any other night, you guys could, hide behind your avatars, but not tonight, okay? Everybody's doing face tonight. Everybody's giving face tonight, all right? All right, guys, so let's get this party started. Let me get my banner. Oh, if you're not going to super chat me, you want to cash at me instead, it is scrolling on the bottom. You see right there, it says On the Block with Jen. I'm also on the Block with Jen at Cash App. If super chat isn't your thing and you want to hit me direct, do that. So tonight's topic is U.S. bros versus passport bros. Now, for the record, I coined the phrase U.S. bros, all right? It's not something that I saw anywhere. I'm just like, what would be the opposite of passport bros? U.S. bros, right? So tonight, I invited some men who I've seen and heard and conversed with, and they are all attractive men. They're all doing well in their lives, okay? And they're all dating and marrying successfully in our country. These are not passport bros. These are not men who have trouble with women and submission, right? So why on earth are they still dating and marrying in the country and not leaving us? Someone has to explain this shit. And I want to know why. And I invited them up here, okay? These men are dating and marrying successfully in the United States of America. Now, remember, the passport bros are leaving because the women in this country are uncontrollable and not marriage material. They do not submit. But I'm going to bring some guys up tonight who are married, who have women that submit, who are doing well. Like I said, feelings are going to be hurt tonight. And if you got a beef, jump on the panel when we're done our discussion. All right. So without further ado, like I said, the guys are going to take over tonight. Okay. It's a full moon somewhere. The guys are going to take over tonight. But I got my whip. So I'd like to bring up Damien from Can I Get Some Podcast.
What's up? What's up? How you doing, Jen?
Hi. We all know the handsome Damien.
Okay.
I gotta get y'all gonna blush tonight. I'm gonna have y'all blushing tonight. AV, where are you, AV? Ah, here we go. AV from Alpha Villain.
What's good? What's good? How you doing, Jen? How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. Good to see y'all. We have, believe it or not, okay, we have another panelist, Glen Lawrence. Can you believe the white guy is late? We're supposed to be late. How's the white guy late? He's on CP time. How?
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay, so he's a little late, but we're not gonna, hold up the party because a lot of people are in the room and we got to get this started. Okay, welcome, gentlemen. I'm excited to see you guys here. Again, y'all are some of my favorites. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass because, when I want to do a panel, I hit you up.
What's up?
Appreciate
it. Yeah, okay. Definitely.
So I am glad y'all are here. I talk a lot of mess about stuff I don't like, but I also like celebrating the things I like. I'm all about balance. So I can talk about dudes all day. These dudes ain't shit, this, that, then the third. But when I see men I admire and respect, I have to also celebrate that. Okay, there has to be balance, and there's not a lot of balance on YouTube, right? So I like to be the balance. We'll wait on Glen Lawrence to come in. Gentlemen, passport bros, depending on who you ask, I've heard two definitions, okay? I've heard guys that do the passport traveling for cheap sex. Now, this is something I've heard of way, way, way back in my teenage years back in the Bronx. I've had friends, cops, CEOs, groups of strippers. And the thing was, everyone fly down to the Dominican Republic because you can get PFE, a girlfriend experience, for a couple dollars, right? That's what I used to hear it was all the time. My friends used to come back with all sorts of videos and pictures that were not cute, but they thought it was amusing, right? I didn't think it was cute. They were rough, okay? Specifically, this guy, and I had him as a guest here before, but I will change the name to protect identity. John showed me a video a while back of his girlfriend experience in the Dominican Republic, and he lined up 4 women, doggy style, and was going down the line, banging them all. That's the type of girlfriend experience you can get in Dominican Republic for a couple dollars.
Right.
Half the dudes in this chat is now like, how much does it cost to get to the Dominican Republic?
Right.
What's the
What?
It is possible, okay? The passport bros are smashing for half the price, $130 even sometimes. So now fast forward to the YouTube streets, right? And now these guys are like, oh, wait a minute. That's not why we're traveling. We're traveling to find wives. We are good potential husbands, and we are traveling because we want wives. Men are traveling to Colombia to get wives and Dominican Republic to get wives. That's what they want. So they're leaving the country for wives because the women here, again, they say, right? This guy put it very simply, well, at least when you go down there, the women smile in the pictures. Women don't smile in America, right? They're not submit. You can't get them to submit. Right? All they want is money. They got too many bodies. They hit the wall.
Yeah.
That is what we hear. That is what we hear over and over again. So let me read this really quickly because I thought it was interesting. And again, if I have a passport bro in the chat, or a passport bro that you could text real quick and he got the cojones to come up, as long as he cams up, he could come up and challenge the conversation. I don't mind. So let me read this. I was doing my little research online, and I'm past the mic of passport bros and what guys are saying. And this guy in a passport bro group said, I felt this is a good way to jump off the conversation. He said the passport bro bashing instantly died out this year because the "you are lame everywhere in the world if you're lame in America" argument falls flat on its face when the passport bros group lives and dies by receipts. Dudes have thousands of pictures with different beautiful women all over the world that actually smile in pictures. But the dudes calling these bros lames have no hoes to show. And those they do show aren't even bad women. Game over. That is what he said. So anyone that's bashing a passport bro must not have hoes. And if he does have hoes, they are not attractive.
Right.
On that note, I will pass the mic. AV, look like you're steaming over there.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I did a show today as well on my channel. Let the passport bros go. And to be honest with you, man, this whole phenomenon, Jen, like you mentioned earlier, back in the day, guys that I know, I said this on my channel as well, we would travel. If you're in a relationship, I'm not in a relationship right now, I'm dating, right? But back in the day, we would go out the country because we wanted to take a break from our main situation, right? We were bored. We wanted to reset. This is real shit. But now these guys want to go across the sea to get some type of validation and to get some type of attention that they're not able to get here. Now, I'm kind of Switzerland, because I agree. Women are a bit delusional in regard to their standards, not necessarily deserving them. However, I feel like the passport bros are using this as a crutch. While I want them to, go where they're celebrated and not tolerated, it's a bad message because a lot of guys are holding on to this and not really putting in any effort for themselves. They want us to show receipts of women, but you got to understand the quality of the receipts that you're showing. These women in third world countries, man, have been ran through, and these are the same guys that were concerned with body count, pair bonding, and shit like that. So It's a mess, bro. It's a real mess right now. It's early, but yeah, I'll pass it to you, my man, because we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. I hear you, brother. I'm right in line with everything that you're saying. It's funny because I was in the military, and you go to certain countries, what have you, and you could use your TDY over there, and you could get a girl to be your girlfriend for a week for like $500-$600.
Right. Teach the little people. What's the TDY?
Oh, that's when you do a temporary duty assignment over in another country.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. And you just like they could use seriously. There were certain countries I won't name because, like I said, I don't want to increase tourism over there. I want to contribute to the sexual exploitation of privileged women. It's just like you would go there and you for like $500-$600, you could rent a girlfriend for the whole week. I mean, she would cook, clean, have sex with you, and go to the club with you, wash your drawers, whatever you needed for the whole entire time you were there. You basically paid to have a whole girlfriend. It was expensive, and like guys would like put in for those places just for that access to that. It would be like, when it came, the list came, like half the single and married dudes would go like and put down that I want that place to go because I know what I'm gonna get out of it. I think as it relates to what it is now, I think a lot of cats realize that there's a lot of self-actualization and self-reflection that has to happen when you really decide you want to like settle down, be a husband, be a what have you, be a in a significant relationship. And I think guys don't really have to do that. It's easier because what's the value to the person, place that the people where they're going is the dollar. And like you said, they're usually in an impoverished situation. So their standard, their expectation is just immediate compensation as opposed to long-term relationship and security. So,
Precisely.
so I think it's that's why it's become a thing, because I think a lot of guys are waiting way too long to kind of realize how they're looking to the women out in the world. So they just want to just like say, all right, I'm gonna take my ball and go to some place where I can just be whoever I am, whatever I am, and they'll just accept me because I'm willing to give them money and help them out of a sticky situation, like help them out of an impoverished situation. So that's kind of my view on it.
Yeah. So do you think there's some hypocrisy where it's like the passport bros, what they criticize women here for, they accept it fully in these third world countries or other countries where women are impoverished, say like body count, say like single mothers, say like having your own. Do you think there's a hypocrisy? Because over there, they're like, yeah, look at this doting woman who's submissive, but she has the same exact resume, if not worse, than an American woman. Do you think there's hypocrisy?
Absolutely. There's definitely hypocrisy there. And again, that's why these labels and these communities are very dangerous. The red pill and shit. Now, I'm cool with a lot of red pill dudes, and I kind of came into the space as red pill. But as time passed, I started to realize that I'm not necessarily into labels per se. Like, red pill, black pill, MGTOW, all that shit. At the end of the day, for me, if a guy wants to go overseas and learn the hard way, let him. The best lessons are through trial and error. Now, here's my problem, Jen. There's a lot of people on YouTube, alleged dating coaches and shit, that are mad at these young boys for wanting to do this. Perhaps it's hitting their bottom line in their pockets. Maybe that's a factor. Other times they're saying that they actually care about these guys, so they want to protect them and prevent them from getting finessed outside the country. The bottom line is this. The way I see it, if you want to go, let them go. There's more for us here. Whoever wants to stay here has the ability to take advantage of the women that are here. Here's the problem. When you go across the seas, in another country, Jen, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is appear to be American, and everyone will want to submit to you for that particular time. Woo! The problem with that is now you have I heard somebody on a panel just say you don't have to be in shape. You don't have to be in shape to go overseas to get admiration from women. You could literally look like a Fat Albert, and go and get women. So what is that doing to the men wanting to strive for shit? Because in the real world, Jen, we already know the winners only win, right? Losers. So going across the seas, it's helping men feel like mediocrity is okay. And in the real world, mediocrity is not okay. You ain't got to be brolic, but you got to be in shape. There's so many other issues. So at the end of the day, this conversation is about women. Now, I don't have a problem with women, but in my view, and I could be a little bit judgmental, the women overseas, the majority of them are lower quality women. So your woman's supposed to be a reflection of you. So what does that say about you, bro? So at the end of the day, so you guys are doing all this shit, which is cool, do you, but it sends the wrong message. And I think myself and this gentleman right here will be able to provide some clarity for the people who do want to stay or who are on the fence. You know what I mean?
So on a quick note, the only white man I know on Color Time. Welcome, Glen Lawrence.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, brother?
Now, first of all, you already know I have North African in me, so I have every right to be late.
No wonder you're late. What's up, Glenn?
Shit, what's going on, man? Glenn? Hey, I caught a couple of your clips, bro. Look at you, Mr. Actor Extraordinaire, AV.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you. Yeah, we grinding. You already know.
That's what's up, boy. That's cool. Yeah.
So do you not see what a good looking panel this is? I want to know where. Hold on. Stop the press for a second. Chat. Stop the press, okay? I want to know where in the YouTube streets have you ever seen a panel with all the panelists smashable? Let's go.
Won't play. Let's go.
Let's go. Because I've seen panels with 4, 5, 6, 7 people.
Looking crazy.
You never see this up here, okay? You get it on the block with Jen. Tell that.
I heard that. That's what's up. I just want to before you jump in there, Glenn, I just want to piggyback up what AV was saying.
Yes,
one thing that
the hypocrisy of men saying women here are single baby mothers, they're ran through, they hit the wall, they ain't got shit, and then they go take their passport overseas, and then they connect with women who are living the same exact life.
Yeah, it's funny because like what these cats don't know is something I found out a long time ago, because my duty station when I was in the military was Hawaii. So you get have all these like local women who got ran through, got 2 or 3 kids when they were young, and they're like maybe 30, 40, and they're hooking up with these 19-year-olds and finessing them to get them, take them back to the mainland. And then the next thing they know, they have kids with them. So they're getting access to all this military medical care, and they're getting to his retirement and all this kind of stuff. But the cats who going over for these passports, unless you plan on staying in that country, you bring in these women to America and they leaving your ass in 5 to 6 years, because they, like you said, they're getting tired of sweating, your fat ass sweating on them. And then what's going to happen, these American women are going to be like, you could take half his money, like Fufu from Eddie Murphy. You could take half his money and you could be out of here and you can go find you a man. Seriously, I don't know how many times you go see these women who with these out of shape, just fat, nasty dudes in the gym working it out, because they know they like on the treadmill, like, yeah, 2 more years. 2 more years. I got 2 more years with this motherfucker. And then I could get me the man. I could get me somebody right, and they just getting left. And that's what these cats aren't realizing, that these women ain't sticking around. They got access to too much information. They know that they can leave you in 5 or 6 years, and you still got to be financially responsible, even once they got their green cards or their citizenship. They ain't stupid as much as they were. They're getting educated.
Right.
So, Glenn, what do you think do you think there is hypocrisy in the passport bros pathology? Like, yeah, women here ain't this, they ain't that, and third, but then they go to a third world country and they're dealing with the same exact, women in the same circumstances.
Well, I mean, okay, so here it is. Modern women here in America are entitled, and to an extent beyond what would be considered traditional. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like they want men to remain traditionally responsible for providing for them, but they don't want to give them the authority that men need in order to take on that responsibility. So there's a give and take there, but most women do not want to do that today. They're like, no, I'm a boss bitch. You pay the bills. Okay. I'm going to look fly because I get my own, I get the bag. And so it's like, we want you to be responsible. Come on, be a man. That's what men's supposed to do. You're supposed to take care of us. So you want them to be responsible, but you're not giving them the authority to be responsible. So these guys are like, okay, well then fine. I'm going to go to another country where their culture is different. Maybe they still have more of the traditional values, or they may still have more of the, the patriarchy, or however you want to word it, established. And what these guys don't realize is like what Damien said, if you go over there to Singapore, if you go to Romania, don't plan on coming back, because as soon as you take them out of their environment that's keeping them to be as nice as you want them to be, or as pleasant to you as you want them to be, and you bring them over to America, where they're going to be surrounded by women that don't do that, right? As according to their theory, then all you're doing is just bringing one more woman over here to get turned over to be like them. So it's like, if that's the case, if that's the argument, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I know people that have done it and they live a very good life and they enjoy it. But they were also in the military and they actually fell in love with, people in that country. So it was not like they were doing it so much because they couldn't get women. They just like the culture out there more. And, one of them is my brother. My brother lives in Italy and he's never coming back. He's in the Navy. He's never coming back and he loves it.
So Glenn, people are complaining in the chat. They can't see your face. They want to see your face. I don't know if you want that. There you go.
Yeah, I just got off of I was just been on a production for the past couple of days as a first AD. Yo, I didn't get no sleep. I'm tired of shit. And
we appreciate you being here. So Glenn, piggybacking off of what you said, then there's a hell of a lot of hypocrisy. So then what men are saying they don't like here is not really what they don't like. They'll take that. They'll take the single baby mama. They'll take the broke chick. Okay. They'll take the chick that's not really all that attractive, long as She doesn't talk back, it sounds like to me.
No,
Because
it's like
wait, men
more than sounding back.
Wait a minute. Men are usually saying in the YouTube streets, right? Oh, you hit the wall, or oh, you aged out, or oh, you're a single mother, you're a single baby mother, right? But then they go to another country and they get just that, long as it seems she just be quiet or doesn't talk back to him. Is that what we're dealing with?
No, it's a respect thing. So it's like, look, women want to be loved, and we talked about this before. Like, women want love. They want to feel love. They want to feel protected. All the actions and all the things that a man does that shows his woman that he loves her, that's what women want. But men need respect. And most women today have a really hard time with respecting men. So yeah, these guys will be like, you know what? Yeah, I will go overseas and take a woman that is.
You froze.
You froze, Glenn. So really quickly, I want to touch on this because this is so much cap. So I get professional men, what those men are traveling for. They're not traveling for professionals. They want women that are going to be subordinate. Okay, they don't want a boss bitch in another country. That is why they're leaving to another country, because they want yes sir, no sir. Can you help me get this well with running water, sir? They don't want a boss bitch in another country. That's not why they're going out there. I do want to say, you know, to piggyback off of what Glenn said, of course, men travel for work and they fall in love with women in foreign countries, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about men that specifically leave because they're not successful in this country with getting a woman to submit, because that's really what we're talking about. So with that said, I'm just going to straight out ask you gentlemen on the panel, just straight out ask you, why have you not grabbed your passport and traveled out of the country to find a wife or date various women? Why have you not gone out of the country? Why is the United States enough for your marriage choices and your dating choices? Why have you not left?
Sure. Let me start. So, you know, this whole passport thing, now traveling is, I think it's essential to kind of broaden your horizons. But in this particular case, Jen, traveling is strictly for women, right? Because you're not successful with women. Now, it never dawned on me to uproot my whole life to go look for a woman that could just simply say yes to me or submit to me. A lot of times for me, I truly believe if a woman's not into me or it's not working for me, then she's not the one for me. Now, this is through trial and error, right? I'm an older guy, so I've been through some shit, the toxic shit and all that, but I learned from those mistakes. But quite frankly, you know, the reason why I don't feel that I should uproot my life strictly for women is because, and this is no disrespect, women aren't really a priority for me, and they shouldn't be a priority unless you vetted her and you decided that you're going to do something with her. I can't make random pussy a priority if I don't know where they're going to be placed in my life. So for me, I think a lot of guys are lost. They don't really know what they're doing, and they're allowing women overseas to give them some type of purpose and guidance. Here's another thing. A lot of these niggas that are hating don't even have their passports yet. That's number one. Number two, a lot of you niggas that are hating never donated to the channel. So the loudest ones in the room are usually the weakest one in the room. You guys are talking about receipts and shit. You guys are living vicariously through other content creators. So at the end of the day, all these youngsters out here, 21, 22, 23 and shit, talking about life experience, bro. I'm still learning at my age. We always learning. So at the end of the day, man, you know, it never dawned on me to leave my life because a woman is not at the focal point of my life. I'm the focal point of my life, and I'd like to add somebody to complement that life.
That's fair. Ladies and gents, hold down the wrenches for me because I can't read all the, I don't know what's going on right now. I'm sorry. The people that just came in the room, we got 50 people in here. We should have 50
get the likes up.
Get the likes up. And also, if you're here and you're liking the panel and what you hear so far, please hit that subscribe button for me. We got a super chat break from Don Levon. Thank you for the super chat. He says, why do people think that the black men only go through third world countries to date women? There are 195 other countries in the world. I don't know anyone trying to date third world country. That's
man.
fair enough. What's also fair is what you said, AV. I can respect that. They are not random pussies. Not I can relate to that. Well, not on the pussy side.
I know, but you understand, right?
Understand when something's not a priority, you're not going to uproot your life and go get some woman somewhere else, whether it's third world country, Donovan, or just vacationing in Hawaii. Right. You know what I mean? You're just not going to do that. Damien, why haven't you left? Why didn't you go out of the country and get a wife? A nice, respectful, humble wife.
Because I don't speak another language. I mean, I've traveled. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've traveled and I was in the military, so I've been to different countries and stuff like that, but it never really dawned on me because I wasn't really my focus or whatever like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm out someplace. I'm going, I'm out for a couple of weeks, couple of months or whatever like that. Yeah, you're going to have some fun, whatever. But when it comes down to it is like, you got to have a mind state that, okay, I'm ready to do what's necessary to become the man that inspires, submission. I know that's like a dirty word and women jump all over it when you say that, things like that. But I think I tried it before I wasn't ready. First marriage failed because I wasn't ready to be the man. I was still trying to live that wild out life. And I just wanted somebody to come hide the body bit with me, bury the body with me when I was, doing my dirt. But it was just something different. It's like, it gets to a point where, you just kind of got to sit back and reflect on what you got going on personally. And then my thing was like, and it was a young cat who actually like put me on game of this because I was like telling him about some wild night or some shit that I had. And I was just like, I was like, yeah, but I'm really looking to settle down. I'm about to hit 30 years old. And, I want to start having kids and blah, blah, blah. And I had a good role model. And I was like, yeah, and I'm really trying to be, have baby mama shit. And I ain't trying to go through that shit. And he was like, hey, dude, you got some like stripper glitter on your lip. And I was like, well, he was just like, you ain't gonna find a woman if she walk up to her and you got stripper glitter on your lip. You got to get your shit right. You got to get that bullshit up off you. He was like, dude, because he was a married cat. He was just like, dude, you got to get the bullshit up off you, and you'll know when it's up off you because women can smell it. It's like that Jay-Z verse, he don't wife him, he one nights him. They can smell when that bullshit is on you. So you're not going to attract the type of women who are looking to be under somebody's wing and submit to somebody. You're gonna look at a chick who wants to have fun with you or just want to just see you as like a plaything or whatever. So it's just like you got to put yourself in position to be that dude before you expect to be that dude. Because if you really that man, they're gonna recognize it and they're gonna come. And those type of women will reflect it, because the type of women who don't want that ain't gonna fuck with you if that's what's on you. But the type of women who want bullshit, party and bullshit, they're gonna be with you all day. And that's where that's gonna be your barometer for how women act out there. It's like, man, all I see is women partying and bullshit, because you own that partying and bullshit. You own that, not getting you're not getting that your credit right in your putting yourself in position or what have you. Because it's like, so you can't be mad at the women if you are if you fishing, if that's the kind of bait you fishing with, you can't be mad at what you catch. That's the way it is.
Let's talk about the dirty word. Let's talk about it.
I wanted to touch on that as well. Yes, go ahead.
Let's talk about the dirty word. Glen Lawrence described it as respect. Men want a woman that respects them. Other people say submission. I'm gonna ask you again. Have you had a problem? You don't look like the type to me, neither one of you nor Glenn, don't look like the type to me that has issues with women submitting. But what do you think submission is? And have you had a woman go against that where you had to like, peace, this is not submission, so I'm out? What's submission to you?
That's a great question. I wanted to touch on that, what Damien was mentioning. See, the problem is submission is a bad word because you guys say it out loud. What is known doesn't have to be spoken about. It's kind of like alpha, right? If a dude is calling himself alpha, 9 out of 10 times he's not a fucking alpha. So at the end of the day, this community and these communities are not teaching men on how to reward a woman properly or appreciate the submission, right? Because if you bash a woman for being submitting, or you make her feel bad about it, or you ask she's required to do it, right? You out loud say it to her. she's gonna pull back from that. So it's like dancing, right? Like if you dancing, all you got to do is hold the broad and she's going to follow your lead. So again, a woman will be more likely to submit to a man who knows what he's doing, who has his shit together. It's not necessarily tied to his finances, but everything else, all the other check marks for the most part are intact, because submission is easy. Going against the grain is hard. Women, although they can do it, they don't want to lead. They don't want to do all the heavy lifting, bro. They got enough to worry about. So if, like Damien said, if you have your shit together, you got the lip gloss off your lips and shit, you tight, you know what I mean, you on your shit, it'll be easier for a woman to submit. Now, this comes along with your identity. If you know you got your program, you understand what you're looking for. Like for me, for instance, at my age now, before I used to try to beat my chest and try to make a broad submit because I really liked her.
Mhm.
But you can't make a woman submit unless she wants to. That's like saying you can make a woman be faithful or stay with you if she doesn't want to.
Mhm.
So for me, I understand in my brain, Jen, if I continue to work on myself, be the best version of myself, I am going to attract what I am. Now, if it incentivizes the woman to submit to me based on the work that I put in, then it should be an easy play. But a lot of these dudes are not working on it. They want the broad to be ready-made and to just suck their dick when they see them and shit and do all this shit for nothing. And that doesn't make sense. This whole passport bro shit, and this is no disrespect, because I did a show, and I'm not disrespecting the passport bros, but what I'm saying is, to me, it seems like a young man's sport.
Mhm.
It seems like, you know what I mean, you guys are talking about women and shit, and then talking about how you can work abroad, but most people can't work abroad. They don't have remote jobs. They're not barbers. They don't, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, women's submission, a woman submitting is a dirty word because men are not making women feel good for submitting. They're demeaning the woman as opposed to giving the woman the role that complements the man.
Yeah, you said it. You said it perfect. That was right
Appreciate
on.
you.
Because the thing is, and I feel you right 100% on that, because I think what happens is, like, just like you said, people think submitting is do what I say, and I don't agree with that. It's follow. Can you contribute to the plan that I've laid out for long-term success of a relationship?
Right.
And that's what women need to see. They need to see the plan. Like, what is the plan? Okay, if I'm with you, okay, what does my future look like? How am I going to be secure in this situation? Do you got me? You know, because I will take care of all the small stuff if you have a plan for the big shit. If you feel like, okay, you know, this is what we're going to do, this is how it's going to happen, what have you. But you also got to give a woman a voice. Don't get me wrong. I ain't going to take that away from them. They got to feel like they have a voice in the situation, because a lot of women don't want to feel like they're being dragged along with no say, because then that's going to lead to some kind of,
they got to be a part of your purpose, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They got to be able to, they fine tune it. Like, for example, like if I'm writing something, what have you, I hand it over to my wife and she's like, check this out. She's like, oh, well, you might want to switch up this for that. And I'd be like, cool, she didn't tell me what to write. She didn't contract it. She just said, you know what? This phrase, you used it a couple of times. You might want to use it again. It's like, she just kind of like fine tunes it. And that's what it should be. You should, as a man, you should be on your purpose, and a woman should be there to fine tune it and focus it. Because nothing, if you got a good person, and they should curate a place of peace to where that you can come and kind of regroup when you out battling and battling the world and what have you. That should be the thing that I feel like that should be the agreement that you guys have. You know, okay, this is what's happening. This is where we're going. You know, what she'll say, you agree with what I'm going through. You see what I've got going on here. Yep. She was like, but how about we do this? You know what? That's a good point. Let's do it that way, and we can keep on rocking. But the goal is a joint one. We've made the goal together, but the direction and the flow and everything is something that you are, as the leader, kind of lead the way. And that's what I think a lot of cats, they don't have the plan without it, because a women will submit because the one thing that I learned throughout all the women I've dated is women want fucking security. You know, they want to feel secure in the situation, decision that they made, because, like they said, and they know they have a short time in a lot of cases to get that security and to get the most security that they can. Right. You know, it's and that's what men kind of lose in it. It's like, I will provide a safe place for you. I will secure. I will make sure that's taken care of. If you just make sure that I'm taken care of. And you can, and you know, and you just rock with that. And that's why, and it's like, if you recognize that, you don't got to go over to the Philippines and get you some chick who, you know, you can barely communicate or what have you. You just gotta just like, if you have that, women can sniff out a dude with a plan a mile away. They like, no disrespect to women, they're like pigs with truffles. They can sniff that shit out and they will gravitate toward it, and they will be more than happy to do it if you rocking with it. The right woman. Some women, you know, there's someone that's gonna battle you on some shit, but it's just
let me
like
say this.
Right,
let me say this. Absolutely. Let me just say this real quick, Jen. They have to. Here's the caveat to what Damien said as well. She has to earn it, right? So here's the deal. In my perspective, in order for a woman to contribute to that essay you're writing, or just to kind of polish or fine tune something that you did, Damien has to earn, the woman has to earn that with Damien, so there's a level of trust there. How does a man earn it? A man earns it by showing and proving. Talk is cheap, right? Behind the avatar and shit, your credit is good. You're really on your grind, you on your purpose. That's how you proven, because now you are a success object. Damien just said it. Women are survivalists. Don't be mad. A lot of these niggas are mad at women because they want to survive. But I said it the other day, in order for a woman to survive, you have to thrive. And what's wrong with a man thriving? If you're on your purpose, you thriving. So at the end of the day, if they want to go, let them go. But if, you know, a woman wants to feel like she's involved. A lot of these guys talk about be on your purpose, be on your purpose, be on your purpose. You can be really focused on your purpose and ignore a good woman and not include her. Sometimes a woman just wants to be a part of something. Even though she's sitting down looking pretty, she just wants to be a part of, know what you're doing. So for me, the best women for me are the women that stay out my way, because I'm so busy. I can't really have you interfering with what I'm doing. Just stay there. You'll get to be on the parade of the winner's circle. But, you know, you got to make your woman feel like she's a part of something if she earns it.
So super chat break, and then I have a question, of course. Necessary Evil, thank you for the super chat. Mama says, men consumed with this search reminds me of Tarzan looking for Jane instead of an evolved species of man. I like that. I like that. The whole let me go find this woman does seem, you know what I'm saying, Neanderthal-ish, if I can make up a word, right? Glenn, what do you want to add to that? Were you listening at all?
You're muted, buddy.
Glenn.
Am I good?
You good,
brother.
All right, yeah. I was listening to it on my phone while my computer was doing its thing. I was rendering some video files, so just kind of messed it up. But no, so I heard the word submission, Jen. I know that's your favorite word. Okay, you know.
I like submission. I'm a fan. I'm that girl.
And here's the thing, like, there's submission is earned. Okay, it's not handed over freely. Okay, so just like marriage is not handed over freely. Like, men are the gatekeepers to relationships. That's how it's supposed to be, right? Guy sees the girl he likes, you know, he woos her, you know, he tries to get her, he courts her, and during that courting phase, he decides, you know what, this is the one, or this is not the one, right? And if he's a good guy, high value guy, has his things together, a good woman is definitely going to want to jump at that opportunity to be with this guy that could provide. He's a good guy, you know, he hits all the check marks on the box, you know, he's the dude. But it's still his decision, and she has to earn him saying, I want to marry you, just as much as he has to earn to her willing to submit to him. And see, a lot of guys think like, I'm an alpha male, I'm just gonna go in there and just say, hey, you bitch, this is what we're gonna do, all right? And then you're gonna go and you're gonna come with me, and then we're gonna get some snacks. Like, you know, like they think they could just like bark orders, but they don't understand, like, that position, you may not even be filling the shoes that you need to be filling to even get that kind of position. It's almost like, dude, you're like a young rookie, or you're a young enlisted, you're an E1. Why are you walking around acting like you a sergeant or something? You ain't a sergeant, son. Like, you a kid, you know? So it's like, but they feel like they're in this role. So what these guys think they could do is like, oh, well, I'm just going to go overseas. I'm going to go over to, you know, Brazil, or I'm going to go over to some other, you know, foreign country. And you know what? Just because I got that USA attached to my passport, they're going to love to play with me. They're going to do whatever I want them to do, because these guys are not dumb. these guys know that these women ain't gonna be going over like falling for them just because they're American. No, the only reason that they're falling for them is because they're American and the benefits that they could get. Like most of these women, when I was in the service, they always told us like, don't be fucking around with anybody off base when you're overseas.
Yeah.
Like you just don't do it, because these women, we will con you. They will get you to, they will make you think they love you so much. I have seen some of the ugliest guys bring home some real decent looking women from overseas just to be divorced in 6 months.
That's
Okay?
what I'm saying.
You know, like these women are finessing guys, and it's like it's not just the American women that are finessing guys. No, these women overseas got a game down. Okay, and it's not like one side is better than the other. But I wanted to hit the point of submission. It's different. See, there's a difference between obedience and submission. See, obedience is doing something because you're told to do it and you just want to follow the order. Submission is the desire to do the thing. It's not like you're following an order, but it's the desire to do it. Like if you're like Jen, when you're with your dude, you desire to please him. It's like you don't go, fuck, man, I gotta just please this motherfucker today. You know, like shit. He's coming over at 7. Shit. Like you're not, that's not your attitude. You're like, oh, he's coming over. You can't wait till 7 o'clock, right? There's a difference. There's obedience and submission. And submission is the woman's desire to live within her husband or her partner's frame because she trusts it. She trusts the direction that he's going, that he's taking them on. She feels secure in that. And that way, submission is just super easy. But when it's difficult is when the guy does not meet the standard. If he's not checking off those boxes, if he's not being consistent enough in those areas for her to feel secure enough to submit to him.
What do you think about this comment here? Is nobody going to address the fact, on average, the women overseas look better, very low obesity rates? Do men ignore that she's a single mother, ran through, poor, if she's good looking?
You see, this is what I'm talking about. Like,
Yes.
respectfully to CC, good question, man. But this kind of takes my, confirms my point. This whole shit feels like a young man's sport, and it's no disrespect because older men, right? I've had baddies, and I still want an attractive woman. But what I'm saying is, as you get older, you start to see there's beauty in the duty, right? So basically, in a nutshell, these guys are strictly looking for superficial things, and that's fine when you're young. So again, young man sport. But when you get to a point when, you've banged all the hot chicks, you know what I mean? They're really soulless, and you kind of want to settle down. Then looks will be subjective, and looks will necessarily be the top of your priority. I want to touch on another thing too, bro. Somebody said, that women take more pride in themselves overseas, or, there's conversation about their pH balance and all that shit. Listen, bro, at the end of the day, if a woman is not taking pride in her appearance to see you, she's not that into you. Okay. Number one. Number two, if a woman is not taking care of herself when she's with you, she doesn't respect you. So you guys want fake respect. You guys want fake superficial confidence on people that are paid and are accustomed to doing that for every single man. You guys aren't special out there. That's my point. For me, I'd rather respectfully build the bitch here. And that way I know I help build her, because femininity and looking good and smelling good should be the norm and standard.
Build a what, AV? Build a what?
Build abroad. Pardon me. Build abroad. Sorry.
It's like build a bear.
Yeah.
But with a film mill.
Build abroad. Right. Pardon me. Right. So bottom line is, I agree with the passport bros. Yes, women are very combative. They're more masculine here, etc. They don't really care about your relationships too, Glenn. Like, you know what I mean? We're the key owner, the gatekeepers to relationships. Women don't care about our commitment because they get in their own bag. They got mad simps in their DMs to pay for everything. So dangling the commitment thing over a woman's head today in any country, bro, is not really going to give you that leg up. What's going to give you that leg up is if you continue to focus on yourself and understand and put your head down. there's more to life than just women, right? What are you doing the other 23 hours in your day? You know what I mean? How are you becoming better? So this just should be standard, but unfortunately, it's a little bit easier overseas, and this is why they think that this is the way the rest of the world is. And it's not necessarily the case, because for me, I think all of us, we're talking for guys who cannot afford or will not travel overseas.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Sorry to cut you off, AB,
No,
but it's like this, man. Like, you know, what these guys are looking for, these passport bros, these guys jumping overseas, and I have no beef with them. Like, hey, do your thing. Like but what they're doing is like they're looking for cheat codes. Okay, they don't have the game here, but they want to have success, but they don't have the skill set to have success here. So they're getting cheat codes and going overseas and playing like it's like buying the knockoff Nikes. They look good, but they don't even feel comfortable. They ain't the same thing. Yeah, it's like it's a false sense of reality.
Right.
It's like it's making them feel better. Like, oh yeah, I just smashed that girl. Yeah, because she wanted $50. You know what I mean? Like, you know, she's trying to feed her family. Like, dude, she didn't suck your dick because she wanted to. You know, like, and it's like, so what these guys are missing is they don't understand genuine desire, and they don't understand what it's like when a woman actually has genuine desire for the guy she's with. Okay, when a woman really loves and desires the guy that she's with, dude, she will move across country for you at a drop of a hat. You know, she will change religions for you. That's how women are. Yep. When they really are into a guy.
You know,
but you have to be the guy to pull that out of her. You have to have it together. So all these guys jumping overseas, they're trying to do cheat codes, not working on themselves. The thing is, they have to work on themselves first, get themselves up to a level to where they could be that guy.
Where they guys need to understand too. I didn't mean to cut you off, Glenn. Guys need to understand that love is conditional, and they need to accept that. You know what I'm saying? It's conditional, bro.
Yeah. Stop watching Disney.
That. Yeah, like it's conditional. It's conditional. Women are gonna have more options than you, bro. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's conditional. That's part of what we call the burden of performance, right? Men have to accept this burden that we have to outperform in certain areas for the woman to even consider being with you. It is what it is. You can't change it. That's like trying to change racism. That shit's not going anywhere. So allow a woman to be. Women love conditionally, but men should adapt that as well. This is how you do it with your standards. Women love conditionally. Men should have standards based on their conditions. This is how you balance this shit out, bro. Now, genuine desire and shit and a woman moving mountains for you, no doubt, that sounds good. Now, it's like a needle in a haystack, but all of us on this panel have experienced that. Most of the guys that are traveling have never experienced that yet. So they can't compare.
They're getting a false sense of it.
Precisely.
It's a false sense. Like when they go overseas and they're getting with these women and these women are doting after them and they want to give them foot massages and stuff like that. No, that's a false sense of genuine desire. These women know how to replicate it. It's not identical. It's not genuine, but they know how to replicate it enough to where a guy that doesn't experience it or has never experienced it wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And these guys are falling head over heels for them. And you know, it's silly. It's just silly.
Yeah, one thing I was going to say, and I brought this point up in the last time we had the conversation. The last time I was on your panel was, you know, you got a good point, AV, with it saying that it's conditional. But I think is the question then: are the conditions significantly less in other countries than in America? Is the condition not you got to be 6'6", you got to have the 3 6s, or you just need to have enough money for me to take care of my family, and then I'm attracted to you? Do you get that? Are women actually saying, you know, because I think there can be some, because I've seen also as much as finessing as I've seen cats, like I was telling the story because I was in the medical field in the military, and I saw you know, an older retired cat, and he was in there for a procedure, and he had his little Filipino wife cleaning his underwear out in the sink, you know, and it was just like the thing is, it was like, is it possible that the condition that they need is security? They don't need you to be 6 foot tall. They don't need you to have a 6-pack. They don't even really need you to make six figures. They just need enough to be comfortable and, you know, and make sure that they can give a little money to their family. That's the condition. That's the barrier to entry as opposed to like attractiveness and a lot of money and shit. Is that a question that we should be asking?
Absolutely, well, because everything is subjective. And remember, it's like looks, right? What you find attractive, I may not find attractive. And this is where the vetting process comes in. Now you see if the broad's conditions will match what you have to offer. Now, if a broad, I'm 5'10", if a broad wants me to be 6'4", and I'm not 6'4", I don't meet her conditions. So this is what we're talking about. Now, you could smash a broad and not know her and not know her name. But when we talk about relationships or eventually getting to somebody or putting somebody as a main, you have to vet them and you have to see if their conditions are in line with what you have to offer or are aspiring to create. This is what we talk about. In third world countries, their conditions will be different as opposed to the United States. So the guys here can't live up to the conditions, whether it's unrealistic or not here. They want to go where the bar is a little bit lower. I'm not mad at them for doing that, but there is a negative message around that because it's like you want to live vicariously through someone else's losses as opposed to learning from someone else's losses. That's why they discourage being with a single mom, getting married and all that shit, as opposed to somebody taking it upon himself to do his own research and learn for himself. This is the problem in these communities, bro.
Well, like, I would say this, like, women out here in America do have a very ridiculous inflation of self-worth or self-esteem, you know, like, right. I mean, I have seen some very, I won't say it, fat chicks. Okay, I said it.
Don't say the B word.
No, I said fat chicks.
Okay.
Jen knows the hat. I have a hat that says no fat chicks. Okay. But like, you know, we see these women on like dating apps and they're really morbidly obese and they'll be like, yeah, I want a guy that looks like, you know, Jason Momoa, or you better get me somebody that looks like Tyrese, you know, or something. And it's like, well, where do you get off for asking for something like that? Have you seen yourself? So they do have like a ridiculous inflation of like what they're willing to what they're not willing to settle with.
Let me interject and say that's not gender specific.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay, because if you looked at my DMs, there are thousands of men in there that look like Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Well, hold up. But you said that before. But those men don't think they're entitled to you. They just they're shooting in the they're shooting a shot.
They're just shooting. They're just like, hey, you know
what? They just seeing if something stick. They may catch you in a depressed mode where you be like, oh my God.
Hey,
the next person who walk in that door gonna get it.
They might think you might be doing another charity case like the bum on the beach. Okay, they're like, hey, she loves charity. She might want to get
seriously, it's just one of those things. Like they just shooting a shot. They don't think they know in their heart they're not entitled to you. That's a difference.
No, exactly. But women do. Women do believe that they're entitled to a guy that women tend to think they're entitled to a guy that's the top 4% of men in the world. Okay, they want a guy that has like make $150K a year. If not, they want him to be at least 6 foot tall. Okay, they want him to have a 6-pack abs. They want him to have a 6-inch dick minimum, right? Like
minimum.
like these are the things that they're saying that they want, right. And then you know it's like you just literally, you know, listed off the top 4% of men because the average medium wage earning for men in America is $52,000 a year. Somewhere around that, somewhere around like $52,000 to $45,000 a year. That's the average. So if like the average is the majority, then most of the guys that are around here are not making that kind of money. They don't meet those thresholds.
So let me ask a question really quickly to hit them likes and subscribe if it's here, please. You know, there's always one of these cats in the chat. These cats that, you know, beat off to the guys that they admire on YouTube. They do the circle jerk thing. They wouldn't debate a passport, bro. I said this would be an open panel after I have the intro conversation with the gentleman. You guys are like little man bitches. You know, when you see me online, you text your little friends or you tell your friends I'm online so y'all can go talk shit. Go ahead and text one of the passport bros. Tell him come up here. That's to cam up. He has. I'm not arguing with avatars tonight. Okay. All of you are watching. Some of you are lurking. Some of you are passport bros. grab your nuts and come on up to the panel. I said this would be an open panel. So if you know a passport bro, okay, I'm sure you could text him. Y'all be texting each other like little girls, right? Tell your boy, come on up here, show his face, and we will debate him.
Sure.
Right? If you think this is an echo chamber, we will debate him. But it just cracks me up when these guys come in the chat and beat off to the guys that they admire. You wouldn't debate a passport bro. Why the fuck wouldn't we debate a passport bro? What's supposed to happen if we debate a passport bro? Are the skies going to open up? Is there going to be thunder and lightning? He's a motherfucker with a webcam. So if anybody watching right now, lurking, stalking, anybody in the chat knows a passport bro.
Secret watches.
There are millions of them on YouTube. They all talking shit 24 hours a day. Have them come over. I will welcome them with open arms, and they can, they can come to the open panel and talk about why they leave for $40 pussy. I don't have a problem discussing that with them at all.
Now, I want to say that there's a difference between passport bros and guys that do go over to other countries. Like maybe they've been over there in the military, or they like MLD, John from Modern Life Dating. He's in Japan. You know, yeah. he will never come back to America unless he's visiting. You know, he hates it here. I met him in San Diego in November. You know, he's a good dude. Yeah. And you know, he's like the culture in Japan is just so much completely just way different than one in America that he's like, man, I don't want to come back because the women out there in Japan culturally are different than the women out here. And he's like, I don't want to deal with, he's like, not that he can't, he's a good looking guy. He's a multimillionaire. You know, he checks all the, you know, the boxes, right? But it's not that he can't deal with women out here. It's that he chooses not to. And I think that's a difference as well. Right. There's guys that can't get women out here. So they go overseas to try to, you know, get women out there. And then there's guys that are like, you know what? The women out here and me are just not vibing. I don't like the attitude. Maybe I don't like the boss bitch. I don't think a lot of real alpha men want a boss bitch because it's like two alphas. So it's like two dudes. It's like the guy's like, I'm not gay. I like women. I like feminine women. Okay. I don't need a boss bitch. So if all the boss bitches are here in America, well, then I'm going to go somewhere else where there's not a boss bitch. You know, where they're breeding feminine women.
Here's the thing, though. That sounds a little bit like, so every woman, this quote unquote alpha male, right, boss runs into is a boss bitch. He can't find a woman that's docile and submissive. Every woman he runs into is a boss bitch. Sounds insane to me.
No, I'm not saying that that's what it is. It's like the majority of them, they put off that vibe. And he's like, you know, maybe I don't know. I can't speak for him. I'm just saying, guys, when they do go overseas and when they do meet all the factors that women want, and they choose not to pick women in this culture or out here in America, is because they don't like the over feminized or feminist narrative that's going around with women. So they're like, I don't want to deal with that. I want to deal with somebody that's a little more traditional. So if that means they decide to go overseas, there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure. Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like that's where I don't have a problem with guys going overseas. You know, like just same thing with women. Like women fly all the way across the country to Dubai for a yacht party for some prince because he's paying her $250,000. All right, do your thing, girl. Go sleep with that camel, but do your thing. You know, like get your money. Like I have no problem with that. But it's like
not the case.
It's not an issue. This shouldn't be an issue. The only issue is when these guys inflate their own ego, thinking that they're doing something, but when it's false reality.
Yeah, let me piggyback on that. You know, for the record, I'm not a dating coach. I mean, I quite frankly, I'm still looking for my lane in this space, but I'm not a dating coach. But I try to encourage guys on my channel to be a free thinker. And basically what that means, I know it's hard, but think for yourself, right? There's so much information out there that you guys can get a good idea as to what's going on and what may work best for you. And the only way you can figure that out is to go out and try it. Now, I'm with Glenn. I said that this morning. I have no beef with the passport bros. Right now, we trolling and we clowning you niggas. But at the end of the day, I really don't give a shit if you go out there and you do what you got to do. Do you? Again, my job is while I'm on this microphone is to just let men know and just to kind of be objective about it and kind of ask some questions, because at the end of the day, here's my problem with this whole shit, man. You know, what happens when now the majority of these out-of-towners start invading and infesting these other foreign countries? Do you think the locals really want to see that? That's another issue that people don't really talk about. All these black dudes swarming into Latin countries and shit, banging out these women. It's just not a good look. But at the end of the day, their motivation right now for the passport bros is just to get laid, have somebody do whatever they say, no matter how they look, no matter how much money they have. They want to stretch their money, etc. And if you want to do that, do that. But it's really not pushing you in a direction to try to challenge yourself as a man. How do you expect to become better if every time you hit a milestone or an obstacle, you kind of lower your bar a little bit? That's my only concern, because the future doesn't really look bright. Future is built on adversity, right? We learn from losses. If you guys keep going from country to country to kind of live a minimalist lifestyle because they're not expecting much from you, when will you start to expect more from yourself?
So here we have, this must be one of them passport rejects. I bet he doesn't even have a passport. He says, your channel is very small. They would laugh at you, but you're here, sir.
Precisely.
You are
Cam
here.
up, bro. Cam up.
This is crazy.
Come on up.
What's wrong with these niggas?
Come on, man.
What's wrong with you?
Hey, he can wear his little black
saying, how you gonna hate from the club? You can't even get in the club.
Right, like,
Yeah, you gonna hate from the outside.
Hey, tell him just to make sure he wears his Black Panther costume when he comes on.
Man. Yeah, I'm right with y'all cats. It's just like, you know, if you going over there for fun, do your fun. I had a lot of fun when I was young.
Right.
You know, go have your fun, do your thing. But I'm just saying, if you're going over thinking, oh, you know, women in America ain't shit, so I'm gonna go over there, then you have to look at yourself. Like, are they not shit to you, or is just shit in general? Right. That's one thing a lot of cats ain't want to do. Are you is because they might be the shit to somebody else,
right?
The motherfucker
generalize,
who's really doing his thing, right. You know, and that's the thing that I think cats don't do. It's just
I'll push back on that a little bit, because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like, again, we have seen a culture, like, there's an article that I read not too long ago where a woman here is talking about, like, I want my first marriage to be for money, and then my second marriage to be for love. I mean, if that's like the narrative that, you know, women are saying, and they're proudly, you know, claiming this, and if that's something that they're going to be saying and like and writing an article about, it's like that kind of shows you the mindset of what or the pulse of with some women out here. And if that's
a small
the case,
segment,
well, it is, but I mean, it is, but like the saying is like one rotten apple spoils the bunch. So, I mean, to a degree, there has been behaviors with women that we have seen over time, and especially in recent years, that have not been very positive when it comes to guys wanting to get in relationships. With 10 to 30% of men thinking that their fathers are not the actually biological father of the child that they're raising, that's a huge concern. Okay, the women know that. The women know who the father is. They know who they slept with. So when you add these little issues up, and they're not little, but when you add these issues up, they get to a point where guys will be like, you know what? I just don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with, I can, but I don't want to. And so Absolutely. They want to still go somewhere else out of the culture. So I think it's a combination of, you know, there's guys that, you know, are weak and they have no game, so they just rather go elsewhere. And I also think that there's guys that like, you know what, the feminist narrative and this the gynocentric, you know, social order that's being pushed is something that is just they can't vibe with. And instead of, you know, trying to, you know, coerce a girl or get her to change her views, they're like, I just rather just deal with a woman that doesn't have those views.
But you know what's crazy? See, as you age, man, you guys, we have to start having a more realistic approach towards love, relationships, etc. And I think the older you get, if you've been through some shit, you had your heart broken, maybe you got divorced, etc., you kind of have a different, more realistic approach towards this whole union we call relationships. Now, if you have a daughter, can you blame a mother who's impoverished to encourage her daughter to look for somebody that was better than her deadbeat dad so she can have a better life than her mother? This is where we talk about women being survivalists. Now, whether it's here, whether it's in Colombia, Brazil, a parent is typically going to want their children to be better off than them. How do they do that? They steer the son to getting a woman who comes from a good family. They're going to steer the daughter to social class. So we cannot change this. The only thing that we have control of is ourselves. I'm going to try to be the best version of myself, and somebody will find that attractive or will compliment my journey. But at the end of the day, for us to try to, because remember, bro, when you get with the woman, you getting with her friends, you getting with her kids, you getting with her mother, you getting with her family. And all of them have been encouraging her to do better than her baby daddy that's no longer in the picture. So now you got to compete against the entire goddamn family. So, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's not very realistic. You got to understand, if you're going to get with the woman, this is why we talk about vetting. You have to see, how is your relationship with your daddy? How involved are you with your friends? How is your relationship with your family? Then you got to vet them as well. So all of these things, when you go to a foreign country, you're an American, you got nice sneakers on and shit, you look like a lottery ticket. So that's going to look very appealing to the family who's still washing their clothes in the goddamn river. So again, like you said, it's a false sense of security, but we have to have realistic expectations. And with that comes having realistic expectations overseas as well. STDs, danger, all this shit. She's being feminine because that comes easy to her. Being feminine should not be something that should be rewarded. That's something that should be required, bro. You're a woman.
But remember though,
that's facts.
as a man, if you haven't worked on yourself, you still you in Thailand. So if you're gonna be a mark, it may take a little bit more longer. You bring you to wherever you at. So if you are sitting up there thinking, okay, I don't have to do any kind of work on myself to make sure that I can rock with these women in America, and I'm just gonna say fuck it, I'm gonna take my ball and go to fucking Thailand. You still you. So those women eventually gonna come with you back to America, and these American women gonna put that bug in their ear, and then you gotta keep them over there, and you're gonna be still you. And the same thing gonna happen over here that would have happened with American women. It just may take longer. You may get to enjoy that hot chick, the foot rubs a little bit longer, but it's gonna happen because that woman gonna look at you like, hold up, this motherfucker ain't shit,
right?
And that's gonna happen.
I think
the outcome, you're saying they should work on themselves first and foremost. That is the priority, not getting a woman for $40.
Absolutely.
Working on themselves. Super chat break really quickly, and it's a great segue. Don Levon, thank you for the super chat. He says, seriously, no real 6 foot, 6 figure passport bro that is on his purpose or looking for a wife overseas isn't on YouTube or in the manosphere. It's a great segue because, gentlemen, why do men get so triggered? As you guys know, I was on Kendra G shooting the shit. The comments were ablaze. The comments were ablaze because I said I want the 3 6s, right? Now, anybody that knows me knows I was trolling, right? Got the reaction I wanted, right?
Sure.
You switched it up in the show. You switched it up before the show ended. It was like, well,
right. I was like, so why do men cringe even when you're not addressing them? I understand someone getting triggered if I'm talking to someone directly, like I need you to have 666, but just those numbers are like the devil because these men cringe. They cursing out your mama, your unborn child, your job, your existence,
because so few dudes meet those expectations. It's
really like the guys that don't meet them are bitching. Just
That's
like the women that don't meet the guy standards are bitching. Like if a guy says, yo, like I don't want a woman that has kids, like I don't want a single mom, because you know what comes with single moms? Baby daddies, and I don't want those problems. You know what? I just want more people. I mean, the girl could be great, but you know what? I would never get with a single mom. That's my thing. And it just won't do. I already did it. I already learned my lesson. I don't got to go through it again. I don't need to learn it twice. But it's like that's my. I even champion that. I tell guys like, hey, if you're a single guy, you're better off getting with a single woman, because if you're not, like, I think as a father,
it's easier to relate. It's easier to relate.
Exactly.
Right.
So when you're looking for a partner, you want them to have some understanding of parenting if you're a single parent. So it's better finding this other single parent to pair with, because you both have those paternal, instincts. A single person is selfish, so they're not going to understand that. But besides that, it's like, I just don't think getting involved with single moms is a good idea for single guys. That's just me.
No, I hear you. Let me say this though about cringing with 6 feet. What a woman wants. Quite frankly, for me, I don't really care what a woman wants unless I want that woman. Right. So like if I'm interested in you and we're dating and we're going to take it slow, we're going to see where it goes. I'm going to be more cognizant as to what you're looking for. But if we're taking it slow and we're dating, I'm more than likely the one that you're looking for. Right. That's number one. Number two, I said this on my show and I mean it, but I said it in a way to be controversial. I said the wall is undefeated. What does that mean? The wall is undefeated. That, if a woman is not doing what she's supposed to be doing, more, she's not taking care of herself, she's not working out, she's not doing her thing, she will age like rotten milk as opposed to a man who takes care of himself, right? But on the flip side, the wall is undefeated for men too. A lot of you niggas are out of shape, talking on YouTube, looking crazy, yelling at broads because you got a broad at home. That's cool, but this is what I'm talking about, Jen. Like this YouTube shit is crazy, bro. Because it's like now that I'm behind the scenes and I'm a content creator, I guess. I'm like, what is going on here? There's a lot of nonsense. So at the end of the day, the best thing for people to do, if you want to travel, travel. If you don't want to travel, don't travel. But just know who you are wherever you are. If you in Miami, be that dude in Miami. If you in Colombia, Vegas, wherever you at, be that dude, because it don't matter where you from, it's where you're at. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't know where you going, you going to look like somebody that's going to be taken advantage of. And if getting laid is the highlight of your day as a grown-ass man, bro, you need to do more things that are going to fulfill you, bro.
Yeah.
Let me do a super chat break really quickly. The Man Cave Reloaded, thank you for the super chat. He says, laughing my ass off. He's tall, like it's just the lower tier guys, or I think he meant he's talking like it's just the lower tier guys leaving. It's better economically also.
That's true.
Well, yeah, like I said, like it's not just guys that don't have game. There's guys that have plenty of game. There's guys that are high value guys that are choosing to go overseas,
like an MLD.
Yeah, like MLD. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Just like women, there's women that go. I mean, Jeremy, you talked about this before on the show. Or you got women going to Jamaica just to get banged out by some Jamaicans. Women travel too. Like it's nothing new. The problem is, and this is where I think the problem is because it's almost like everybody's complaining about these passport bros. And it's like, are we complaining about them because their false sense of security that they think they are somebody they're not, and we want to correct them? Is that our concern? Or is it because they're not spending their money here on the women here, or they're not giving the women here any attention because they don't see any value in it? Like they're just like the guy that complains about the girl that wants a 666 and he doesn't meet that list. So it's like the woman complaining about the guy that these guys are going overseas, willing to go spend time with women over there and not them because of the different desire or value.
But it's the same thing, bro. It's like Jen said. Well, if I'm not talking to you directly and I want a guy who's over 6 feet tall and I'm not talking to you and I don't even know your name, why are you concerned? So I see a lot of people in the chat. You guys are talking to like just the 6 feet, lower tier guys and higher tier guys. What we're saying is we don't have a problem with you guys going to across the seas, bro. It's just like you guys are. It's like most people are in the stands yelling at the quarterback because he didn't make the play, but they're not even in the game. This is what I'm talking about.
They don't even got a jersey.
You wasn't even with me in the gym. So it's like you niggas are talking all this shit. You advocating for passport, bro. You haven't traveled. You ain't got your passport. And what we're saying is we're trying to have an adult conversation about some perspective and objective about certain things that people are doing and why they're doing them. This is shit that you should be learning from as opposed to trying to advocate for somebody because shit's not working out for you. It's like this YouTube shit is crazy. I'm too old for this shit, to be honest.
But I think there's a fix to this.
I want to answer this question because people have been asking it of AV. This is not Donovan Sharp. This man is actually
yeah.
masculine and attractive. This is not Donovan Sharp.
Appreciate you. Yeah, I know Donovan Sharp. Shout out to Donovan. He inspired my look. I'm on a show with him too, by the way. But nah, this is not Donovan Sharp. I'm AV.
I just want to eloquently say, "Fuck Donovan Sharp."
Okay?
With that said, next super chat. Thank you for the super chat. He says the male versions of Pick Me.
Yes, it is the male version of the Pick Me girl.
I don't know who he's referring to. Maybe he could clear that up.
You're talking about the dudes who just go over there and like they want it easy. They just want to go over there. Like they have the money, and that's the only thing they need to work on is the bag in order to get the quote unquote submission that they're looking for. They don't have to work on any other aspects of their personality, character, or long-term plan. They just got to make a little bit of money, and they can like trick themselves into thinking that they're getting this real submission when it's just, like I said, it's a short-term game, because they're gonna, unless they plan on staying over there, these women gonna come over here. But one thing I got to push back on when you said they're not bad. Sometimes we bringing some bad ones over here, some, and then they gonna get to America and they ain't gonna stay long.
Yeah, you gotta keep them over there. Don't bring them here. Keep them over there.
People are asking for the link. I dropped it twice. If anybody wants to cam up.
I want to say something real quick about this. It's like, when we think about it, when we really think about it, right? We have to find solutions. Let's talk about solutions. Like, why are guys going overseas? Well, one, a big complaint is women are they're not as feminine as they once were. We have lived in a society that has empowered women, has made women strong, and there's no problem with that. But what tends to have happened is as women got stronger, they lost their femininity to a degree. Like it's like, it's like they became more masculine and were more boss-like, but what sacrificed was their femininity. And I think a lot of guys want more feminine women, not a bro. You know what I'm saying? They don't want they want a partner that complements them. But if they have a partner that's just like them, it doesn't work. Like if you have two bosses, you can't get that to work. You need someone to be, beneath. Somebody has to take the step down. Somebody has to complement.
Absolutely.
And then what we're seeing here in America is like, honestly, because of our, economic system, we need pretty much two people working to provide for a family.
Exactly.
Like you have to have two incomes these days.
You mean the average man?
Yeah, for the average. Well, the average American, average American family has to have two incomes to support the family. Okay, and so with that, it's like it's kind of hard. It's society doesn't really help the cause for women to be feminine because it's made them masculine, and they needed to be in order to survive. They had to. Especially during what I think it was 1970, or shortly after the sexual revolution. Then they came out with no-fault divorce, and as soon as they came out with the contraception and no-fault divorces skyrocketed. Families started breaking down. All right, but no, women didn't have an income. So that's when they started doing Title IX for women to go to college and open that up for them. And then there was affirmative action. And there's a lot of different things that have contributed to empowering women, which is good. But in the process of that, women have lost their femininity to a degree.
I think, let me piggyback on that. And you're absolutely right. All those things are very valid and relevant, and we can't ignore those things. But let's put some accountability back on the man, right? Yes. Now, men are at a disadvantage with society, the narrative, social media, TV, all that shit, fine. But for those of us, because we already know most women embracing all these masculine traits, doing all the heavy labor shit, doing all the heavy lifting is burdensome, and they don't really want to do it. But women are forced to be masculine because men are not necessarily stepping up to the plate. Men are being men themselves. They're acting like bitches. So as a result of that and shit, they rather see their girl do double time, overtime and shit like that, as opposed to the man stepping up to the plate as well. So aside from us, being ice skating uphill with society and narrative, incentivizing women to be masculine, one way, if we know that we would prefer to do the heavy lifting because this is what we're designed for. Men have to really step up. Men are applying what they find attractive in women to themselves. As a result of that, women are looking at you niggas like, ew, you're acting like a bitch. So now they have to be the man. So we can't control everything, but what we can control is ourselves. We have to stick together, bro, because not in a bad way where we bashing women, but in a way that we have to re-identify who we want to be. A lot of us didn't have strong male figures. I didn't. It took me a long time to kind of like really fine-tune who I wanted to be unapologetically. This is why my channel is Alpha Villains, because guys who quote unquote are alphas are villainized for, demonized for. So I'm trying to change that narrative. I'll expose bullshit on women. I'll expose bullshit on men. But at the end of the day, men are men, women are women. And if we can both equally stay in our roles, the world will be a better place and it'll be a lot easier. Now, you talked about divorce and shit like that. A lot of people getting married for false pretenses. Nothing lasts forever, bro. So at the end of the day, we have to have a realistic approach at what day and society and year we live in so we can maneuver accordingly, bro. Like, because if you don't do that, you're just going to be reading, not you, Glenn, you're going to be reading stats, all this shit. And it's like, you just smart, you book smart and shit, but you have no experience because you too damn book smart to go outside and apply what you think you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what?
Hold on really quickly. Super chat break from Two Guns to Ya. Thank you for the super chat. He says, as a man that makes 6 figures a year, I don't want American women for the simple fact,
That's
the
fine.
culture.
That's fine, bro. Enjoy.
That's a choice. You got a choice. And nobody's saying you should not have the choice to go out and seek, someone from another country or what have you. But what they're saying is if it's that loathing of the women in your country, like, oh, they ain't shit, then you kind of got to look at yourself. You're then, you know what? I identify with the traditions and the of the Filipino culture, and I want to go and date a woman from Thailand, or the women in another country kind of speak to where I'm at, the kind of things that I want, and I think that'll fit better in my plan. That's fine. But if you're saying fuck these American women, they ain't about shit because you having no luck with them, and then you go and say, I'm gonna go to another place, then you kind of got to do some self-reflection, my G. That's all I'm saying. I think that's all most cats are saying, is if like you are don't down, the women in America because you don't know how to rock with them.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
It's the voice and the responsibility we all have. That's what I'm saying. Not everybody deserves to be on the mic, bro, because it's the influencer. Look, I'm not mad at the influencer. I'm more disappointed in the influence, right? Like I said, I'm not mad at women, but I'm expecting a woman to be a woman. So you should be mad at yourself for allowing the woman to finesse you. You should be mad at the influence being influenced as opposed to being mad at the influencer. We all have access to the same information, books, 24 hours in a day and all that shit. Guys will blame you for a mistake or be scared through a story that I share as opposed to trying to figure it out themselves. And because they like me or they like my content, now they're scared to live their life. This is just a lack of identity, a lack of masculinity. And I always said this morning too on my goddamn show. I said, yo, bro, we like women and all that shit, but men are fighting now. Now we fighting over women, fictitious women. What do you think that's doing to their ego? Dating coaches versus passport bros. Niggas in the chat talking about we dating coaches. None of us are dating coaches. And a lot of you niggas are talking about, oh, you want to debate us on some shit. About what? Women. Women are that important to you, bro? This is what I'm talking about. A lot of you niggas don't know and put value on yourself. You're mad at women because they have an inflated sense of ego, but who put them there? Who put the broad on the pedestal? You did.
Yep. And I
want to address.
Go ahead.
I want to address this chat that you got up real quick, Jen, where it says, as a black woman, let them go. We have money. It's just one of those things. That's the thing. That's part of the problem too. You contribute to this whole shit because what's happening is we put it out there that women should be independent. And if you really look at it, independent means apart. That means you already set yourself to be apart from a man or like a family structure. You set yourself apart. We should be like, you be self-sufficient. Don't get me wrong. That's what's up. You don't need to be independent. You need to be self-sufficient. You need to be, because it's hard for women to get into that interdependent relationship. or submit it all. If you don't want to submit, just get into an interdependent relationship where both people are contributing equally to the success of the family. If you aren't the kind of woman that feel like you can just totally like rely or trust the man to kind of lead you in a long-term direction, fine, do that. You know, those traditionally those are the.
Wait, let me just jump in here real quick, give you a teeny bit of pushback. I know you never believe it's teeny.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think that that's a condition that came from women having to evolve? They had to evolve to that because men were not stepping up to the plate. So it's like the pendulum swung to the other side and broke. It's like now women are like, I'm independent. I have to be independent to survive. Similarly, it's interesting because men are now swinging all the way the other way because they can't fulfill a masculine role. Now they're becoming bitches online. Now they're leaving the country to get $40 pussy. So it's like it's on both sides to me, where women are like, I'm independent because I have to be. Because earlier we said women are naturally submissive. I know I'm naturally submissive. I've been in my most masculine when I was with a dude that I had to open my purse for.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. And that's the thing. But like I'm saying, but it's but if you live in that independent mind frame, you will never fully be comfortable giving it up. You will always have your bags packed right at the door, ready to walk out on some shit, because you'll never be completely comfortable. Like I said, that's the difference between independent mind frame means an apart mind frame. You are thinking apart from something else, not interdependent. A self-sufficient mind frame means I'm gonna hold it down, and if the right situation comes, I'm gonna receive it. I'm gonna keep myself open to receive it. That's different. My dad always told me, go after a self-sufficient woman. Don't fuck with these independent women.
Like, well, I think it's funny, like, Jen, you mentioned like the pendulum swing. What also contributed to that, like Rollo Tomasi mentioned this before. He's like, the men that we have now are the men that women have created. We have really pussified boys for the last 4 generations. We have stripped them of masculinity throughout the last 30, 40 years. And it's only been gotten worse in the last 10, 20 years. Okay. We have the most, like, I was on set. I was working on this film, right? And there was all these young guys working there. And I was the first AD. So as a first assistant director, you are literally barking orders, getting shit done, like making sure that the production stays on time. And being prior military, like, I'm not nice. Like, I won't curse at you. I won't be like, hey, you stupid son of a bitch. Like, I'll be like, hey, we got this deadline. You need to get off your ass and you need to go do it. Simple as that. Matter of fact. I had boys and girls like distraught because I told them to get off their ass and move with a sense of urgency. And they went and complained to the director, like, he's a little hard. I'm like, hard? The fuck? You showed up 2 hours late. You're lucky you still got a job. Like, but that's the culture. That's what we have. We have pussified young men. We started teaching boys to be like defected women and defected girls. Okay. And we have to realize that boys and girls are different. Men and women are different, and they learn differently, and we need to teach them differently. And we have to have rites of passages again for men. Remember when we had rites of passages? Like, you weren't considered a man until you accomplished something, until your group or your clan has looked at you and deemed you as a man because you accomplished something.
Now men are getting called godfather for having webcams. That's where we are at 2022.
That's sad.
They're being called godfather just because they have a webcam and a webcam and
I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you saw that?
I mean, I think that was
Am I lying though?
Kevin Samuel shot, but
R.I.P.
Am I lying though?
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not lying.
Admired, in order for men to be admired, they have to be warriors and accomplish things and have
that's a fact.
Why?
That's part of what makes men attractive.
Now all they need is this, a webcam.
No, but see, the thing is, that's what used to make men attractive, is their accomplishments. Men are success objects to women, while women are sexual objects to men. And see, that's the problem. These guys are not accomplishing shit. There's so many. We are in the generation of lost boys. We have more men or grown boys that are adults that have no direction. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do with their life. We have more women going to college and getting degrees, and way more than men are. Women are, I think, a 60 to 40%, difference between women going to school for a graduate degree, while guys are just doing nothing after high school or getting a trade. And trades are great, but it's like these guys have no direction because there hasn't been any standard for men. We haven't said, hey, this is a standard. Like, I remember when I was coming up, military was an option or college. That was my only two options.
Damn.
All right. So I went to the military because I didn't want to go back to school.
We live in a different time, though, man. That's the thing. We live in a different time. That's what I'm talking about. Like older guys, man, we reminiscing and shit. We got to get over that shit, man. It's a different time. And, there are no longer, we no longer have standards. So you have to be the standard yourself. And you got to be the proof and lead by example. Now, I know it's hard for you young cats, bro. You want to feel like you belong. Feeling like you belong has never been easier. Like Jen said, all you need is a goddamn webcam, a super chat, and now you're a part of a crew. You're part of a Telegram, all this shit. All that shit's useful. However, what happens if they lock this shit down? What happens if they take it away from you? Who are you? Most of you guys don't know who you are unless you listen to content, red pill content. Most of you guys don't know who you are unless you're getting laid. Most of you guys don't know who you are unless you're making X amount of money or you're working out. What happens if all those things are stripped from you? This is why we talk about learning who you are and becoming that person without external things that are going to influence you, bro. Because trust me, bro, me being in the YouTube streets, man, a lot of this shit, there's no love in the streets, bro. Nobody gives a fuck. It's all about $1. And at the end of the day, there's more money. You're more valuable to them following them as opposed to doing your own thing and leading your own charge, man. So we don't live in the days of where there were standards and shit like that. That sounds good, but how do we apply it to today? The only way we can apply it to today is by leading by example. That's the only thing. That's as real as it gets, bro. We can read the books on my mantle and shit. We could do all this shit. We could do content till the day we die. But unless we apply what we're listening to, it's never gonna work, bro. It's never gonna work.
I want to really quickly, since we're almost at the end, I dropped the StreamYard link. If someone wants to come up and challenge
5 times.
Right. If anybody wants to come up, we're towards the end now, but if anybody wants to come up and challenge any of the talking points, feel free, and you can hide behind your avatars. I know I said I wanted faces up here, but you can hide behind your avatars if you like. If you don't want your identity known, you can come up and challenge anything you had. I know some people in the chat were saying that they're passport bros. Some people travel, some people don't. Some people were challenging us. So if you want to cam up real quick and say something, feel free. You can hide today, guys. Super chat break from
the Man Cave.
Nice. The Man Cave Reloaded. Thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, who raised these feminine men? Single mothers, boss, independent women. I was raised by one and been through a divorce and lost half of everything. I'll gladly pay the $40 this time.
I hear you, bro. Do you?
I understand. I understand.
Like there's when
you can work on yourself though first.
Super chat break. Thank you, Jabari Bryant. I thought you were coming up today, Jabari. Thank you for the super chat break. He says, strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times. Bad times create strong men. I like that.
You know what? Let me say this about that gentleman who says he'll gladly pay the $40, but at least you've been through some shit. A lot of these young dudes are going overseas and ain't been through shit. This is what I'm talking about. It's all about experience. Now, there's a lot of value into traveling. You're broadening your horizons. There's more to life than just your area code and zip code. Fine. But you don't box yourself out. Don't box yourself out of a couple of losses from women just to go out and uproot your life. So at the end of the day, this guy went through a divorce. He learned from his mistakes, and now he's decided he no longer wants to do it. Don't decide to live a lifestyle or do something without having to, giving yourself a chance to live the other lifestyle as well, because you're selling yourself short by doing that. So that's very important.
Well, it's like they're being risk adverse. They hear stories about guys that have been through the ringer, and they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay away from that. I'm not even gonna try that. I'm just gonna go over to Bangkok and get my cock banged. You know, like it's like they say these, they do these things just because they're being risk averse, and that's not what it is to be a man. As a man, you don't run from risk; you run towards risk. Yeah. I mean, like, think about it. When guns go off, it's men who run towards the bullets, not running away. They got to protect the women and children. That's what we have been designed to do. That's our innate strategy for survival. We know we have to protect the children and the incubators of life, which are women. It's what we do, you know. So, but these younger guys are learning this software. It's like a feminized, pussified male software. What it's like, there's one streamer was like, and I know I saw somebody talk about Andrew Tate. It was one streamer was talking to Andrew Tate, talking about like, if there was a guy coming in his house, would he go downstairs and fight him? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, if your wife is in there, he's like, so what? None of us are going downstairs. We're gonna stay right up here. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna even defend your lady. Like, she's on her own. Shit, she should find somebody else to be with, because you're just telling everybody that, like, look, when it comes down to it, baby,
come to my house,
you might get shot. You know, like. But like that's but this guy was very adamant, like that was a thing to do. And that's the generation that these guys are living in. We live in a very, very weak mindset for men. And I can't say that it's all men's fault, because women have demanded these changes in men. Okay, we have you know, told men that like they're toxic and their masculine, you know, their masculinity is toxic. It's not just toxic masculinity, it's that masculinity is toxic.
So not all.
And then now we got like,
I like toxic masculinity. There, I said.
Let's go.
But it's like, you know, we have when we say these things, and then we got guys going like, well, shit, I don't want to be considered toxic, so I'm gonna, you know, stop doing these things. I'm not gonna be competitive. I'm not gonna have a drive. No, I don't want to seem toxic. Like they're just trying to appeal to what women are saying that they want, not realizing that's not what women want. So the best thing that these guys should do is whatever a woman says she wants, do the opposite. Okay, and you might get better luck
within reason. Right.
But the problem is it goes both ways. It's to me, this problem is on a two front. It's men's fault for not being men, and it's older men's fault, like our fault, right, for not holding the standard strong enough and influence the younger men that fall beneath us. And
well, it's difficult because of like social media kind of has perverted what it is to be a man. Social media has changed the narrative of what a man is supposed to be and what a woman is supposed to look like. Because it showed like all this stuff started happening. I didn't hear nothing about like six figures. If you think back before social media and people start putting it out there of all the wealth and that they've accumulated, what have you. And I said this once before, and I think it was on your show, and it's just like the way it's perverted. It is like you take a woman, you know, Keisha from South Central, who grew up, and she would have been happy with the man who drove a truck and made a good money and made a good living, but she posted a bikini pic, and now she got a German billionaire hollering at her, thinking, "Oh my God, you got a hollering at her," and she's thinking, "Okay, this is they raised the level of what they think is acceptable to be hollering at them." So as they're sitting up there thinking like, why would I give the regular guy a chance? Because the German billionaire is going to fly me over, like you said, or Dubai, and, you know, have me hook up with his camel, like Clemson, and you just, you know, or whatever. And why should I sit with the local dude, when the international dude is telling me I'm the most beautiful thing you ever seen, is going to drop a bunch of money on me? And then what that does,
that's how
what that man does is he goes and he decides, okay, I can't actually compete with him, but I'm going to make it look like on this platform, on social media, on IG, I'm going to go and take, you know, I'm going to take my rent money and flash it out and make it seem like I got bands. I'm going to go buy fake jewelry. I'm going to go and, you know, pop bottles and not pay my light bill. And so it looks like I'm doing the most or what have you. And then women think, okay, that guy he's showing the trappings of success, so he must be value. Let me hook up with him. They realize he ain't got shit, but they then probably got knocked up by him. And now that whole hamster wheel of, okay, now do you go and try to find the regular guy or what have you? I think social
guys
media
need to realize that, on average, young men that are listening, you're not going to hit your peak until your mid-30s. Okay, your 20s,
if that, yeah,
your
If
20s
that.
are gonna,
I
if that.
thought it was
Maybe
40.
later. Maybe
no,
later.
On average, it starts from 35 and up. Okay, you will start hitting your peak, and it's
tough.
like, and I'm not a big Myron Gaines fan, but he did have this analogy that was really good, right? And it's like when women turn 18 years old, it's like they were given $1 million because they have all the options they want, right? They could get with any guy. Doors will open up for them because they're young and they're beautiful, and they have the opportunity. They have the opportunity to do whatever they want, right? But guys have to earn it. Guys have to make themselves something, and that takes time. And that may take you until your mid-30s. You may be complaining about the girls you can't get with now because
I know what he's about to say. He's like, they're gonna be chasing you. I know he's gonna say they're gonna be chasing you in their late 30s. Like Kendrick is saying, when they got 2 babies, daddies, and in the car payments overdue, and they see that nerd that they thought that they passed by in high school and college, they're gonna be on his dick.
Let me do this super chat break real quick. 2 guns to ya. Thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, but that's the point, to try to keep younger Black men from having to go through the same BS that's statistically not in their favor.
You talk about the marriage and the divorce shit.
Right. And then we have TB. Thank you for the super chat. He says, or she says, I've lived overseas for about half of my adulthood between military and private sector. Please don't move overseas and recreate a false image with the internet. Women are well aware of the incoming lames.
Boom.
And they're
taking advantage of that. They're taking advantage of that. Yeah. They see you coming.
Just for the record, if I was a 20-something, 30-something, 40-something attractive woman overseas and I see this idiot coming and I know I have to sell ass, I'm targeting all of them. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Like what else would a woman do in that situation? And it's funny how the passport bros, just the ones that bash women. I'm not talking about all of you. I know some of you in the chat, like, I'm not a passport bro like that. I really fell in love with this woman. Great. Not talking to you, but you know what I mean? The majority of them, they hate that women want the 666 out here, but in a similar fashion, those women in those countries, they obviously are doing the same thing because they don't want the men there either.
Right.
So
right. The hierarchy of needs.
Women to think that way, but in your tax bracket, women think that way.
Right.
You want them to think that way in your tax bracket.
Well, it's just like this. Women want somebody that checks all the boxes off for them. Okay, they need a provision. They need protector. They need somebody that can that all the hierarchy of needs. You need comfort, the place to sleep. You need food. You need just your basic needs. Women need that first. They need to be able to check all that shit off first. And sad things in other parts of the world and other countries, guys can't even barely meet those standards, because of the way things are. So of course, these guys that come from America come over there on their barely minimum wage salary. They could afford that woman a lifestyle way better than the guys out there because they make more money, obviously. But it's like they're not any better. They're not any better than where they are.
The bar is just lower.
It's the bar is
significantly
lower. The bar is lower. That doesn't make them any better though. And when these guys bring these girls back here and these girls see how the other women are and how the other women are treated and how they dress and how they got a bag and they don't got a bag, and they realize they can't afford that bag on their husband's new McDonald's salary, they're like, well, wait a minute, I'm just going to find somebody else out here.
And then they get on social media, and that German millionaire hits him up, and that man is seriously.
But it's like the issue is like, look, we have to fundamentally change how we view relationships. I think maybe guys have a ridiculous, overinflated standard for women. I mean, a lot of guys, they want the model. They want the skinny waist. They want the big tits and the fat ass, pretty face. They want that, she has to be a size 0. She got to be a size 0 or a 00 with some double D's, right? And realistically, unfortunately, as something we were talking about earlier, yes, women in America are the fattest women in the world.
That's a fact.
It is a fact. Women over here in America are 70%. Or it's not just women; it's also
Americans.
Men.
Americans, yeah.
Men too. Americans
What about the men? What about the men?
That's what he just said.
Yeah, for sure. American, yeah, men too, for sure.
Our 70% Americans are overweight, are obese. Okay, so it's like everybody wants the 20%. The guys, like all the guys complain about the girls want the top 20%. Guys want the top 20% of women too. Okay, but guys will settle for the bottom 80 because they just want to get their dick wet. Women won't do that.
Hello, Jabari.
What's up, Jabari?
What up?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Sorry, I had a long day. It's actually not even over yet. I saw the conversation and had to jump in. And I can't stay long. And I do appreciate you letting me in, Jen. I know you're about to go.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, if you have a rebut, I'd love to hear it. I know you always have something spicy to add.
Well, I just want to say that I only caught the last like 35, 40 minutes. There is a cultural difference between the East and the West. Just like Jen, I think your culture has a lot to do with how you look at relationships, how you look at men. I mean, like you said, and plus you're from a different age bracket, a different generation, a different way of interacting, and that plays into it. I think we all have to step back for a second, and I think a lot of what I heard makes a lot of sense. The guys do, as long as you're not downing somebody for taking that option, that's fine. The same way, as long as those guys taking that option aren't downing women as a result. I think that we just kind of need to let live when it comes to that. The same way women can go online and post some bikini pics and have millionaires. I don't think billionaires are dropping in no regular people's DMs, but millionaires flying them out to this place or that place. Men can go online and see Filipino women, for example, being interviewed and talking about how they just want a husband. How they're not looking to go through this whole dating culture. How they're not looking to go through. It's not just, people always say the Philippines and Thailand. I go to Colombia for work. The culture is different there. Like the dating is not this dating culture where men and women are competing with each other and everything is who can rack up numbers and who can do this and who can do that. I think that we have to acknowledge that there is still that cultural difference where you have men who want to be husbands and women who want to be wives, not boyfriends and girlfriends, not baby mamas, baby daddies. You have people who still appreciate the family. And I think the once we get away from Western culture, I hate to say it this way, but Eurocentric culture, you see that more often. You see that in Africa. You see that in Asia. You see that in South America. And the thing that these places have in common are these are generally people of color. And until the Western influence was on people of color in this country, the highest marriage rate, and I quote this all the time, until in the 1960s, the highest marriage rate was blacks and the second highest was Latinos and then Asians. And at the bottom was whites. So I think it's more getting back to what our culture is and what human culture is. So that's all I had to say. I apologize for bloviating for so long.
It's okay. So we have a compliment for the panel. Kat Velez says, I wish these men were teachers in school. I think a lot of males would have benefited from this level of knowledge. I totally agree.
I did teach.
Appreciate you.
You know what?
Just tell your sons and nephews.
They would have to pay us.
Yeah, subscribe to our channel,
salary, because the teachers don't get paid shit. That's why we ain't teachers.
That's why I had to coach too, guys. That's why you got to supplement it with coaching.
Yeah, you gotta hustle.
But, the funny thing is like, you're right. There's a lot of bad statistics out there or comments because like people like to say that do you know the male population that's in their children's life more than any other race is African Americans. And they tend to say, like, well, they're not married, they're broken family homes. But you actually, the father actually, in many cases, African American dads are more invested in a factor in their children's lives than any other race in America.
Yeah.
But the statistics are skewed, saying that, well, there are more single, moms or broken family homes. They were never broken. They just never were homes, though. So we got to watch the rhetoric that's out there and stuff like that, because these statistics get really skewed and twisted. But what's interesting, what we have to realize is that, and you hit it on the head, Jabari, like other countries really truly value the family life. That's was something that my brother like really loved about his wife and their family in Romania, is like all of them still live together, like not in the same house, but like three houses on the same block. The whole family lives there. The family takes care of all the children, like the adults go to work, the grandparents take care of the kids. It's a family environment. Like it's so everything was decided and done on the family. Like they worked as a team. Yeah. And that's something out here in America we really don't have. We're so quick to break up the family. We're so quick to say, you know what? I don't want to deal with her. She's a bitch. Or I don't need him. I'll just cash out after 10 years and get alimony. Like we have like the worst, mindset when it comes to family and relating. It's like we really don't even know how to relate with one another anymore in America. And
social media made it worse, a lot worse.
Yeah. It's funny because, like you said, you're 100% right. My next door neighbors on both sides are Indian, and they roll deep. And like you see all the generations of the family together, and they come to celebrate each other and all that kind of stuff. It's just, there's something that's just not the norm in American society.
And they all got money. They all got money because they put all their money together. We are so individualized out here. Like we just want our own. We want our own house. We want our own this. We want our own that. Like other cultures, no, the whole family contributes. You work, put all the money in one big pot, and the family builds a dynasty. I mean, that's what a lot of Asians do, a lot of Asian Americans. We just don't have, and Africans, yeah, we don't have that mindset in America. We don't understand the value of family or community like other countries do. And I think once we could get there, we might see a.
Okay, while Glenn is that, what's up, Haran?
Super chat break.
Haran.
Peace, Haran.
What's up, brother?
What's up, Haran says, I'm late. Shout out to Jen and the rest of the kings. Some men have the nerve and charisma to be prime choice in the States. However, the reality is that due to women having more options, a lot of men have been priced the fuck out.
That's a fact.
That's real talk, Haran.
Yeah, let Jabari behind the avatar because we're almost finished. So I was like, whoever wants to come up behind the avatar is fine.
Yeah, I'm about to head out. I'm sorry, Jen, to interrupt. I got a ton of work to do. But I appreciate everything, guys.
Appreciate you, bro.
And let's just be careful, man, because I would love to see our culture return to being family oriented, being our communities being more family minded, because you can't build wealth. You can't build wealth like something to pass on unless you do it in a group, unless you do it with a group. Otherwise, a generation after you're gone, I heard somebody say this today, and it was piercing. It was an older guy. He didn't have any kids. He was the only child, and he made a lot of money. And he was talking. I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and he was saying how partnerships are undervalued and family is undervalued. And he said, when he dies, he'll leave something. He says, but a generation afterwards, a generation later, nobody will remember him. The company will remain, but no one will remember
life goes
him.
on, right?
And you have to, you want to leave more than just the business. Like the old, like the ancient Egyptians used to say, I need someone to come and give offerings to the gods for me. I need someone to come and, change out the jars. You know, it's important. And I apologize again for coming late, leaving early, but
Appreciate you, bro.
great
good.
show. Great
We
great
Sounds
show.
like good stuff,
Thank you so
Jabbar.
much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Take
Jabari.
it easy, brother.
Tristan is up here. I guess Tristan is here to
Tristan.
dismiss the class. I was gonna say something that was so. Before we leave out, while we have 50 people in the room, the gentlemen on the panel are tagged in the description.
Appreciate you.
If anybody's wondering who these gentlemen are and they want to follow them, their names are tagged in the description. Now that I have 50 people in the room, please support these men. It is very, very important so we can keep the balance in the YouTube streets. Okay. Give them a like, a click, a subscribe, whatever. They also have social media. Follow them there as well. But they are tagged in the description. Muchas gracias. Tristan, what are you doing?
Behaving, but you know, I do want to tell the passport bros I'm selling Wakanda passports. Whatever you guys want. I said I got everything for you because you know they don't like y'all black asses out there anyway. So but just say you're from Wakanda. It always works.
I wanted to touch on this because this is something we haven't touched on before we leave out. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here. I know it's late on some of your posts.
All good.
It's a pleasure.
TB says we didn't touch on this. There is risk pursuing women from desperate and poverty places. Plenty of nice women in the so-called first world countries, i.e. Japan, Taiwan, Germany, etc. Don't limit yourself. Listen, I watched a documentary specifically in the Dominican Republic of these young girls as young as 18 and up who are prostituting themselves and waiting on the beach for these tourists and these passport bros. And it was really, really bad. Like they were in a prime, you know what I mean, little area. It is dangerous out there while you're trying to get your dick wet. So that's something that hasn't even been discussed, but it's very important. Watch out where you are with that passport because it can be dangerous. These people are hungry, desperate. Okay, so you know, vaya con Dios.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, to touch on that too. You know, I'm from my parents are Haitian. I was born here, but yeah, they're still kidnapping people in Haiti now. You know, they don't even know your background. If you got a nice pair, when you go on vacation, you want to dress fresh, have a nice pair of sneakers and shit that you look like the mark. So you're absolutely right, Jen. See, that's what I'm talking about. God damn it. There's not enough fine print. And I think older content creators such as ourselves and just who kind of lived a little bit more can provide the fine print to these guys that really need this, man, because you can really get jammed up outside, bro. And you know what I mean? And now what? I mean, just to get your dick wet. It's like, it's not even worth it. So again, men, really, you guys have so much of an advantage. When we were younger, we didn't have all this information. We had to go to the encyclopedia. You guys have it at your disposal. Learn as much as you can and apply some of it periodically so you can see what works for you and what don't. But outside in those passport bros, man, enough of them are not telling you to be careful because you can really get got out there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna wrap it up because I gotta get going. But I was gonna say this is like, I went to Haiti in 2017. And I was speaking against sex trafficking of children out there, and we did some stuff out there for a couple of weeks. It was powerful. So I love Haiti. I love Haiti, and the best hospitality in the world. Those are the nicest people in the fucking world. Right. Like their hospitality is amazing. But you know, guys need to realize that they have work to do. All right, guys, we have work to do. And here's the other thing. Women, when guys do the work, they want a woman that's complimentary to them. So if these guys are going to do the work to become better men and they put in the time to level up and get there, and if you are not a complimentary piece to them, you should expect them to go elsewhere. Right. So you want these guys to level up. You want these guys to be good guys, and they're good. They want to because they want to be with good women. But when they get there, and if you are not ready, then you'll get passed. So it's both. We both have to work on things. There's things that men got to do to level up, but also things that women got to do to be complimentary, to be that good partner for a guy that's worthy of it. And a lot of women don't think that, you know, the guy is worthy yet. And sometimes they will let a good guy go that is a good guy that's worthy of her for a fuckboy. And then they'll get mad about it. So both genders have some work to do, in my opinion. But I gotta jet, you guys. I gotta finish this editing. So, Jen, it's always
Appreciate
great.
you, Glenn.
Hey,
All right.
Salute,
Lee,
Glenn.
All right,
We'll
Glenn,
talk
you take
soon,
it
bro.
easy, brother.
Peace,
pleasure to
peace.
meet
It was
you.
a pleasure. Pleasure
All
being
right.
on the panel with you.
Have a good night.
Peace, peace.
Take it easy,
All
brother.
right, guys. I also want to add, we're in a time where men and women are always trying to outspite each other. Like,
Yes.
I'm going overseas because you women ain't, and then the women are like, I don't care. I want 666.
Right.
And people are constantly trying to spite each other, and they're spiting themselves. Really, I think I would say this is going to sound very, very simple. Get your ass in the gym. It will change your life. It is a
Yeah.
fucking force. Like,
Yeah.
it will change your life. You can concentrate on you. It's inward work that just happens to look good on the outside. But I think a
Right.
lot of people are working on what's out there and who's not approving of them and what that girl's doing and what that man is doing. When you work on yourself, like, you glow and people are
Right.
attracted to that. Like, worry about you. Everything else will fall into place. Not only that, but when you look good and you feel good, it's easier for you to vet people because it's quick for you to say, I'm not putting up with that because I put a lot of work into myself.
Right.
Easy to say, I'm not putting up with that. I go to the gym, I'm reading, I'm traveling. I can't do you. So it's water seeks its own level. Like I said before, work on yourself is the most important thing, not the passport, not the guy with the 666, despite what I said on Kendra G. Okay.
Right.
Work on yourself is the most important thing. Damien, since you and AV both have actual channels where you have panels and things like that, please talk about your channels really quickly and where they can find you before we bounce out.
Okay. Thank you, Jen, for having me on. Damien, pleasure to meet you, to be on a panel
You too,
with you.
brother.
Guys, please subscribe and check out my YouTube channel, Alpha Villains. I got a morning show. Finish Your Breakfast with AV, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, weekday mornings. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about toxic men. And, as you can see, guys, I'm more of a guy who's kind of finding my way on this platform. I realize I have a voice and influence, but I'm more about holding people accountable. So make sure you guys follow me on YouTube, Alpha Villains, and on my Instagram at Alpha Villains as well.
And he has great little bites on his Instagram. I love
Grind
it.
it. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Some little bites always,
Clips. Word.
Every now and then he'll say something where I'm like, whatever.
I know.
I support
It's love.
the overall message is really, really dope.
Appreciate
check
you.
out his Instagram as well.
Thank you.
Damien, can I get some?
Yeah, don't let the name fool you. Can I get some? Is kind of a play on words. It's understanding, kind of insight into what people are doing. Myself and I have two lovely female co-hosts. We do a show every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Basically, we just touch on everything that's pop culture, relationships, politics, things like that. And we lately we've been doing a bunch of panels and people discussing. So what I do is try to get a group of people from various backgrounds to come and tell me what things are looking like on their side of from their point of view. And it's just been a super fun ride. Like I said, we're relatively new, just started this thing. Jen was nice enough to grace us with one of her appearances on one of them. And awesome. So it's actually tomorrow. So so if people want to go out, it's Can I Get Some podcast.
Sure.
That's the IG as well as the channel. Check it out tomorrow at 10 o'clock. It should be a fun show. We got a lot of cool people talking about a lot of great stuff.
And it's a good time. It's a genuinely good time. It's grown and sexy over there, and the women can hold. And they're good looking. So
I got a woman who decided that after her divorce she wanted to start doing OnlyFans, and then I got another woman who was a dancer for a long period of time who is doing big things. So
tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow. So they like I said, they don't hold nothing back, and it's all they ain't afraid to tell it how it is.
Let's go.
And all I do is just sit back and not try to get any on me.
Right.
Get what on you? Never mind.
Okay. Let's go. Get out of here.
Glitter.
Can I Get Some podcast and Alpha Villains? Gentlemen, this was a pleasure. I love it when you guys are up here.
Thank you so much.
Let's do this again. I'll be
sure.
sliding.
I'm here for you anytime you need me.
Absolutely. Likewise.
Thank you so much. Good night, chat. Thank you for holding down the chat. Tristan, dismiss the class.
Tristan.
Sure. I think I got something. Since it's been a motivational one, I'll be nice for the fellas. Don't let perfect become the enemy of progress.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
I like that.
It's my
I like
lane.
Keep
that
working
a
on
lot.
yourself, fellas.
Always.
Class is dismissed.
Peace, peace. Appreciate
Peace
you. Have a
out.
good night, everybody. All right.
Take it easy. Bye.
Okay, guys, hit that like and subscribe on your way out. If you enjoyed this show, don't forget I'm on the block with Jen on all social media platforms and on the block with Jen at Gmail if you want to contact me personally about some business. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this so much. I hope you did too. And we will see you again soon. You got any show ideas? Hit me up. Okay. So salute to you guys. Everybody who was watching, everybody is in the chat, the stalkers, the lovers, the haters. Mwah. Good night, and I will see you soon.